Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lions Den Podcast, the Monday Night Football Victory Monday celebration. We're in the greatest of spirits because Leon was campeón last night. I'm talking so loud, I'm just so stoked, I'm so excited. It's just surreal, and we're here to talk about everything that happened in the second leg final that led up to Leon being campeón. Thank you, everybody who's joining us via Periscope and YouTube. Let us know what your thoughts are. Give us your thoughts. We're going to talk about everything that happened in the second leg final and just a little bit about everything that happened this season that led up to Leon being campeón in this 2020. So right before we get started, let's just go to a little clip of Guardianes Liga edition because we are at the end. Carlos, Louis, Jose, guys, how are we feeling?
Glorious.
Oh.
Monday. Glory. I'm sorry. Sunday of glory. That's what I would like to call it.
Awesome, man. It feels good to be a champ.
Every time that this happens, I don't know.
It's been too long. It was what, 6 years?
Yeah, 6 years.
6
Could have been
years.
shorter, but Cesar stopping by on YouTube, just dropping by to say congrats once again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Louis, I want to hear your voice. How are you feeling? You and Javi were there live. Like, what? Tell me. Talk to me.
Well, as close as I could get. Pretty close in the city. You don't really know how you're going to feel. I mean, you have an idea. You can only imagine what it's going to be like, but you don't really know how you're going to feel until they blow that final whistle in the last game. You don't. Everything before that is just. I mean, it's all kinds of things, and then when it happens, you have no idea how you're going to feel. Obviously, you're going to be happy, but I didn't realize how much more complicated than that was going to be for me. Like, even just letting it settle in for a few minutes, I still think it hasn't quite completely settled in yet. It's probably going to take a little while for you, like, to process everything that goes through your mind when this kind of thing happens. I've had the good fortune of supporting a lot of pretty good clubs, teams of various sports over the course of my life, but I've enjoyed very few championships, and I've enjoyed very few like teams that are real true championship contenders, and you know that they're championship contenders going into the season and have that kind of expectations. I haven't really had much experience with that until this version of Leon, because I kind of came right as the bicampeonato phase was ending, so I didn't really enjoy that the same way that you guys did. This was completely different. This was like, we are the contender. We are the force to be reckoned with. We are a title contender. We got to win the title. And so when you're thinking about that for the better part of a year and a half, ever since the Clausura 2019 ended, and we were like, okay, we didn't win that title, but we've established ourselves as the class of the league. Now anything less than getting to another final is a disappointment. And it's been that way for the last almost 2 years, 2 year and a half, at least. And so I'm surprised, obviously, behind the screen of the outward screen of sheer joy, just that first reaction of sheer joy that the team won. For me, it was mostly relief, to be honest with you. It was relief for like how closely we've been following, all of us, especially me being there in person for so long, going to see all these games and it's following them around, an emotional and economic investment, if we're being quite honest, in this team for quite some time. And then to get to this point, I almost feel like the losing would have been far more crushing than winning was just jubilant. I feel it was much more relief than it was actual just sheer joy, because we completed the objective, and anything less than that would have been disastrous at this point with this team. We completed the objective, and it just felt like more than just being super, super, super happy-go-lucky, yelling and screaming. There was a little bit of that, of course. But aside from that, it was just like this weight lifted. Like, like I can breathe now. I can sleep now. Like they got the job done.
Same.
I can
You
relate.
know?
Yeah. I mean,
That was it. That was
listen,
it more than anything for me.
yeah, we've
That was
been
it more than anything for me.
it's
But being there with Javier, who hopefully will join us shortly, being there with him in Leon, like right in a wings place on La Madero, so that we could go like a couple blocks from the Arco de la Calzada, so that when it ended, we could just go and jump right into the fray. Oh, not.
Oh, I think we're losing Louis. Froze on the screen right in the middle of it.
no.
Carlos, what were
He
you
was about
saying?
to he was about to give us some interesting information about Cruz Azul.
I know, right?
But
Oh,
no, I was gonna say it's been a roller coaster ride over the last 4 seasons. I mean, if you guys think about it, we were so close to tasting glory in that Clausura 2019, and we failed, and that was gut wrenching. And then we came back against Morelia, and it wasn't gut wrenching. It was more of a disappointment. We were all disappointed at losing in the quarterfinals. And this year, it was just a completely different team. You can tell that the team is mature. You can tell that Nacho Ambriz knows how to play liguillas now. He knows how to control them, even though we didn't win using our style of football. We sort of had to change up tactically and make some changes to protect the ball and to protect our lead. But man, if that's how you win liguillas, then that's how you got to win, And at the end of the day, nobody's going to care about how you played. It's about putting that star on the crest and bringing the silverware home.
Yeah, well, he took a page. He took a page out of the book of the technicals that have been successful in liguillas recently. I mean, it's not always the prettiest game, but I don't think at any point they ever went away from their pretty style of play. It was never ugly. It was a little cerrado, maybe. It was they changed their style up significantly, giving up a lot of going back to their not bunkering, but sitting back a little bit, waiting for a good chance to counter kind of ways, which they hadn't really been in the regular season. They hadn't played that way in the regular season this year, really. But it worked for them in Liga. I mean, that's you got to recognize that and make those adjustments. That's what they'd never done before. Like you said, they've never. That was what was so different about this Liga, at least after that first Puebla game, compared to all the Ligas past.
Yeah.
They had that little scare in the Puebla game. Then as soon as they came home and took care of business from then on.
A little hiccup. But
yeah,
I agree. I think we've all kind of established pod by pod that this Leon has matured as the games go by. Regular season, we only lost against Cruz Azul, and we're kind of a little cringing in Liga just because we've known how to suffer with Leon, but I think we've mentioned it again. They've had to adjust with different types of faltas, the Jairo, and then the Avion, and then having Aquino back, and then Gigliotti for Joel Campbell. So it's been a lot of just adaptations, and we'll definitely talk about what happened last night because I at the beginning was on edge of what was going on and just seeing players fall on the field. I was like, this can't be happening in the final. We're gonna have a whole couple of players injured. So leading up to that, Carlos, are you ready to give us the club team news?
Yes, I'll give you both. Yeah, both team news because
Okay.
yesterday was kind of short.
Okay, sounds good. Luigi Garcia Sela, Octava home. Saludos to the whole podcast. Hello, Luigi. So let's go and talk about the club team news.
All right, guys. So for leg one, there's two very important points that I want to bring up, and I think we should talk about. And that's the extensions of Steven Barreiro and John Meneses, who were extended right before the leg one. Meneses obviously was signed through 2023, and Barreiro received a 3-year extension. Two really good assets. It's good that we own their cards for the next couple of years. And as long as they keep growing, especially Steven Barreiro, we're going to be a good team. We're going to be solid defensively and on the wing. I think that's a good talking point for today. And then last night's team news, just one word. I didn't have anything else to write. There was nothing else to write, but it was just one word, and that was win.
Or Austin or Field, this just brings a smile to my face of just the end, like Louis said, just whistle blown, it all just like kind of waded in and like I can't cuss, but I was like, holy, this is for real. So yes, I think the definitely extension guys were really important, especially the way that Meneses was kind of the news kind of introduced, and I think Jose did a pretty good job on the whole translating and keeping an eye on that. But so, do you guys want to talk about lineup?
Yeah, let's get into the lineup. So lineup for last night, we had one big surprise. I'm pretty sure all of us are going to be surprised at this. I didn't expect this, but we had Nacho Gonzalez, el corazón de León, start in place for Steven Barreiro, who was red carded, and he was out for that game. We also had Tecillo, Mosquera, and Navarro in the back line, along with Rodolfo Cota. In the middle, we had Aquino, Montes. On the wings, we had Avion, Mena, who unfortunately he had to leave the game early. And then we had Meneses and Gigliotti up front. Shout out to Gigliotti, man. What a way to show up.
I'm telling you guys, 7 goals in total. Yeah, 7 goals. This is a man that we obviously had through the podcast. And you know what? It's a better version of Lo Ramos. I mean, a handful of those 7 goals were in crucial moments.
Yeah.
I mean, I did say when we signed him, we were trying to find differences between him and Leo Ramos, for example, because we considered that their style of play was similar. But I mentioned Gigliotti's past playing in enormous matches in South America. You know, like his mentality just as a player is different. He's limited, especially at this point in his career. He's probably limited. He's limited in what he can do. That's why I said he's probably limited. We shouldn't expect too much from him, but he's got that mentality. Like he knows how to play in big games, and he certainly showed that in this final. I mean, I think these are the biggest games. These were probably the 2 last biggest games he'd ever played in his career. I can't imagine him playing the games bigger than this ever again. So, I mean, that killer instinct that he showed, and also just his reaction and what it meant to him to contribute in those moments, I thought was extremely inspiring.
Yeah. Don't we have him for another 6 months?
Yes.
We do.
So, hey, man, what if he shows up for champions?
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would have thought no matter how much longer we have him for, that he wouldn't be in the team's plans, you know, after closing out the rest of this regular season. But I don't know. He might have changed mind, but the Directiva's mind about that, you know?
Yeah.
Well, he does have a buy-in option, I believe, so.
Yeah, but I think it's like 4 million. I don't know if we want to pay 4 million for.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to. I'd rather. I mean, latest news, the rumors is that Ibanez is on our radar. I'd rather spend on something like that. He's what, 26?
Yeah, he's younger.
Yeah, he's 26. I'd rather go.
For my money, just exactly what we need up there.
Yeah. I think we've already been really content, especially how we've seen this player play against us. So I think it'd be a great addition in regards to kind of a key lid up top. Just because I think we've talked about it here and there throughout the podcast. Even though at the end of the day, you know, Mena had a lot of goals. He had 7 or 8 goals this season.
9? 9 plus 9 in the regular season, right? Was it?
I'm trying to figure that out. I mean, Gigliotti with his 7 just made a huge contribution, especially to this winning this game. I think he said in an interview, like, would have been awesome him scoring and the whole Nacho Gonzalez, which I was very surprised, and I did not feel nervous at all. I think we all thought, you know what, you know, we all think about his age, but look at Chapito. I mean, he's just on another level. With a Nacho and Mosquera, I think Nacho gave a lot of confidence, and I kind of was just uneasy on just the aspect of the velocity of the other game. But other than that, I mean, I think I felt safe, and I was just like, you know, kind of content. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only thing, and I mentioned it before, that I was just kind of worried, like, because before the second line, there was talk of the possibility of Nacho starting, but I didn't really want to, like, believe it until I saw it, and then he starts, and I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, I mean, like, that's the only thing that I was worried. Like just the speed of the Pumas players of Carlos Gonzalez, what's the right winger that plays for Pumas. I think he was injured. Uh,
Turbe.
You
yes,
thought about that subbed in?
yes.
Yeah.
So that's who mainly I was worried about, that he was gonna struggle. But honestly, like he made up for it con
Mhm.
garra. So you know,
Yeah, I wasn't worried at all. To be honest with you,
No,
I loved the decision for
okay.
yeah,
two reasons. For two reasons. One, just like I was saying about Gigliotti, the guy knows how to play in a final.
mm-hmm,
Like the
Okay.
guy has played in big games. And two, because we'll get to this, I'm sure, in depth later, but those were his last 90 minutes as a
mm-hmm,
professional. Those were his last. I mean, supposedly, he said, after seeing him play, I wouldn't mind him playing another year, to be quite honest with you. But for all, I mean, we're pretty sure those were the last 90 minutes of his professional career. So I knew, like, adrenaline can carry you for 90 minutes. For one more 90 minutes, the
Yeah.
adrenaline of it being your last game, that can carry you. Nobody was gonna. No, if they were gonna score on us, it wasn't gonna be past Nacho.
Yeah,
I was certain of that, and I was glad to see him start. I thought that was the
I think
best choice.
I think it was kind of a gamble at the beginning of the game. Before the game even started, I was like, man, this is a big gamble to put a player who hasn't
mm-hmm.
started a game all season to just throw him into his last game. That's a lot of pressure. He's maybe not in shape, not in rhythm, but it's a gamble that worked out for us. And I think Pumas also took a huge gamble by putting in Talavera, who was
Mm-hmm.
out and he hadn't been. I mean, you can tell on that first goal it was all his fault.
Yeah,
And
he was rusty.
he was the best goalkeeper of the whole season, and he didn't show it in the second leg. And they took that gamble. I mean, why would you even do that as a Pumas coach? Like, why would you take out the goalkeeper that got you to this stage and and substitute him for Talavera, who's out of rhythm? And obviously, it was his fault that first goal went in. Highly criticized on social media too.
I mean, I think it's slap in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm not in Lilini's head, but I can kind of see the reasoning there. I mean, Talavera was probably the second best player in Liga MX this season after Chapo Montes. I mean, if we're being quite honest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if he's good to go, I mean, he's played in finals too before. I mean, if any guy is going to be able to go in and do his job the way we're accustomed to after some time off, it's him. That's what I'm thinking. Lilini's mentality was, or his thinking going into that decision probably was. It looks terrible in hindsight, but hindsight's 2020. I'm glad he did it though. It worked out for us.
Yeah.
I mean, regarding the whole Nacho, I mean, I think you, Carlos, have that GIF of him making that interception. Nacho Gonzalez. I mean, I think that just pretty much sums up, like, and I understand kind of like, thinking of a gamble because we've seen it. We've seen when Mosquera started and we're like, oh no, why is he starting? He hasn't played. I think with Nacho, I just got a sense of like experience. Like, even though, yes, he hasn't played, but like, I feel like he has more experience. So I felt kind of little more sane in that aspect. But I mean, just talking about Mena, literally on the floor, and I'm just like, when I went into Twitter, it was like what I was thinking, like another final, Mena's out. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew it when I saw him crying. I was like,
yeah. I mean, like, yeah, that same. Like, but I was just like, bro, like, come on, like we've been here before. Why? Like,
We've been here before.
where? Like the only thing that I could think, like, where did we go wrong? What did we do wrong to deserve this? Like, come
I
on.
know.
I was worried for him, but I wasn't worried about the game.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, because we've shown, if anything, this proves. Well, the whole season really did. This was not Mena's best season for us. Really, it was not. It wasn't. I mean, in general, it showed how non-Mena dependent we've become. Like we don't need him to be what he was to still have success. He was never. I don't think.
Mm.
Oh, did
He was never brought in. He was never brought in to be the guy he turned out to be the guy in that Clausura 19, but that was never the plan for him. This year, he was just more of a complementary piece. Still a very, very, very good star caliber player, but more of a just the roster makeup. Now he didn't have to be what he used to. He's just a complementary piece now. So when he went out, I was like, that sucks for him. But
Yeah.
But I wasn't worried about it having a serious effect on the game at that point, or our fortunes in the final.
And we had Joel Campbell sub in, who was absolutely on fire during the semis. So we knew he was at a high level, and we knew that it was his moment, and he was waiting for that moment to prove himself.
And we didn't even expect him to play. We didn't expect him to play in this Vuelta, or there were serious doubts about that.
Although when you mentioned Campbell, like, you could clearly see he wasn't all there.
He wasn't 100%.
So,
he was probably like at a 65, like just even on the counterattack, he was just not at full speed. But I mean, you gotta give him props. I mean, he came in there and he did to the best of his abilities. Lots of people on the chat. Shout out to Ivan from the Eagle Eye podcast. He said congrats. Thank you, Ivan. We have, come on, Luis Tigres from English said Nacho Ambriz to Tigres. Congrats again, y'all. Thanks for the congratulations.
No.
Nacho Ambriz is not leaving.
Not gonna happen, Luis.
Shout out to Antonio. He said a Tigres. Thanks, but we keep Nachito. Good one, good way. And shout out to Marcelo Balboa. He said campeones, campeones. Ole, 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 ole.
Campeón.
Guys, one person
where were we?
One person I think we should mention, who I think was maybe one of the reasons that we got here, who had an amazing game and is just kind of underlooked. Like there's not a lot of spotlight on him. It's Pedro Aquino. Pedro Aquino. I mean, what a game he had! An absolute, like the whole series. Both games.
Yes.
What a monster player! What a monster! And there's no spotlight on him because he's not flashy. He's not making he's not making any runs. He's not scoring any goals. He's not but he does all the little things. He makes a lot of stops. And I mean, he's just out there just hustling and grinding for us. And I don't think he gets the credit he deserves, man. But I really, really hope there's a fat extension for him on the table.
So that's what we've been,
Well, I mean, we were ready. We were ready to throw him to the Sharks after that Toluca game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's tough love, because we know he gets heated, but we know his qualities on the field.
Yeah.
So when he makes mistakes like that, I think it's just like that tough love. Like, really? Why do you have to do that? But no, I think I totally agree with
it's
Carlos.
Like, I would say it's like the same thing with Hen and Campbell. They had so much potential that when we see them not giving out that potential, week in, week out, it's just kind of frustrating, because we know they have it.
Yes.
Definitely. I think another player to mention, and he is celebrating his birthday today, is Avion Ramirez, because I think...
What a way to celebrate.
I mean, seriously, I mean, this player came and, we kind of all had our thoughts, but we gave them benefit of the doubt. We saw him grow and just adapt so well to Nacho Ambriz. I mean, literally, he's just grown beyond our eyes. Like, it's just insane how he started a game one to now to being such, aspect of this team. El Club de sus Amores. I mean, he is a fan. And to be campeón and then his birthday, like, come on, guys. This is just like a beautiful story.
It is a beautiful story. I just wish there could have been a full stadium behind him to cheer him on. All of them.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I was trying to told you guys I was going to try to channel like every past experience of being in a stadium to try to, pretend that I was somehow there. But it only goes so far. It feels a little bit different.
Yeah.
I was hoping it wouldn't, but it just, as someone who's so used to being there, it feels a little bit different not to have been. And disappointing that we couldn't, I mean, down the road, once we've gone to more, when we're allowed to go to games again, we've gone to hundreds more, and this is, a few years down the road, it'll be a championship as good as any other. It is a championship as good as any other, but the experience right at the moment doesn't feel quite the same. I have to say that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think for this, I would have flown out to see the game.
Same.
This time around, like I think it was, who said it on the chat, like it just feels different versus the final versus Tigres to this final. It just feels different. I can't remember.
I think there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just that the fact that there could be no fans there. It's just the expectations of that club and this one have changed drastically. Like that felt like that season to that point felt kind of like a fluke, because we had where did that season come from? The seasons we'd had before that were terrible. Like where did that season come from? It seemed like a fluke, and so it kind of seemed like perhaps Pumas was in this final. We were playing with house money. Like we were happy just kind of to be there, because who would have ever thought that we got that far? Yeah. The problem is, after that season, they continued to play well and continue to be the class of the league. They've continued to be the class of the league ever since then, but have nothing to show for it. So this time the expectations and the feeling just going into this final were completely different than the Clausura 19, just completely different. And so, I mean, it's not just the this year, this pandemic year and all that. That's, and everything that goes with that. That's part of it, sure. But I mean, I think just the state of the team now compared to the state of the team in the last final has changed so dramatically. That's why it felt different.
Yeah,
definitely felt different. Shout out to Chango Loco. He said Leon Campeón. I love saying that.
Chango Loco.
A la novena. I mean, come on, guys. We just have to, right? It's only.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing.
If we keep, like, I would say, most of the squad that we have right now, the novena is definitely not a pipe dream. So
I mean, who really is at risk right now of leaving? Like,
I think biggest risk would be Aquino. Just from everything we've been hearing, and he hasn't been renovated yet.
I mean,
no, but he had a meeting today. And
he did.
And the general sense is that meeting was about a contract renewal extension. So hopefully that comes to fruition.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. So what do you guys think for next season? Would you guys prefer? Because I know we can't go for both. I don't know if we have the squad for both, but would you guys prefer we go for CCL or we go for the 9th?
We go for both.
I think we can go for both now.
You think?
Yeah.
I think we definitely fell and learned what happened in CCL. Now I think with this mature Leon looking side, I mean, I feel like we can go for both. I mean, maybe I'm just sounding like super ambitious right now, but I mean, we've seen this Leon mature. They got it done yesterday. We don't want to relive what happened in CCL, but they learned from it. So why not? Yeah. I don't know what y'all think.
They did. Also, we have to remember we didn't even make it out of the first round of CCL. So the heavy legs were not the issue. Heavy legs were not the issue in that CCL. Like, if that's what you're concerned about, Carlos, it's just a valid concern. But I mean, they haven't proven that that's like going to be their downfall yet. Until they do, like, you've got to try to win every game that you're playing in. And I, for one, really do. I value those CCL. The CCL is, it's had trouble like becoming this prestigious thing that they want it to be. But those titles, I mean, there was more hype for our game against LAFC than anything else. Our games against LAFC than anything that happened in since the finals appearance in the Clausura 19 up until that point, and even during the rest of that season, there was more hype for that than really for much of anything I've seen. These games, like these intercontinental games, mean things to a lot of people. Just what they stand for, not just the teams, but everything, the fans and where they're coming from. And I take it very seriously. I hope the team does too. But I don't know. There's nothing like lo que hay que ganar es la Liga Nacional. There's nothing like getting that star, like sewing that star, that extra star on top of your shield. There's nothing like that. I mean, I still think the Liga MX, winning the Liga MX Liguilla, that's still the best thing that a Liga MX club can do. I would say in Europe it's not the same. You'd rather win the Champions League. Winning
Mm-hmm.
your, if that's the real challenge. Like winning your league for some of those leagues shouldn't even be a challenge. The real challenge is the Champions League, the UEFA Champions League. I think it's kind of not that way. We've never been viewed that way here. It's much harder to win the league than it is to win the CCL. So I definitely think we got to go for the CCL, but not at the expense of going for the ninth, especially with this squad. As long as we have it, we've got to milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
I think we can both, but in regards to the position that we qualify to the Liguilla, then we might have to lower our expectations because there's
more games to be played.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean it's definitely possible. Like just the only thing that I'm worried, at least just for one of the players, because like the fact that it happened to him twice already in the final, Amena, is like if he's gonna be able to take that workload, because I think what it is for him is probably because, well, he's what is he, 32, and then in January he's gonna be 33.
I think
Can't
so.
remember.
Which is kind of surprising that he's having like con problemas físicos, and then Chapito Montes is older than him. But look at Chapito Montes, he's like, oh,
Yeah.
But
physically, he's like 25, Chapito.
yeah. So I mean that would be my own concern. But honestly, like for for the older players, not for the younger. But I think it's definitely possible. It's just I do think that we need some additions if we really want to make a shot at the UCL and not let what happened last time happen again.
Yeah,
Definitely.
man.
I think there's a player that we have to talk about, and I think it's unfortunate. He's been out since Jornada 13, and we've been kind of just have him under the microscope, series time series time series, and he just showed up the best way he could. Yairo Moreno, I mean, by far best player, and it just made me smile. Like him warming up on the sideline, it's just he's such just like lively person. He just made me smile, and I'm like, oh my god, if he comes in and just does what he does best. And regaló un golazo. Beautiful, just to like cherry on top. Like, this is Yairo Moreno. This is why he's in this team. And this is what he's going to give us. And I think that just sealed the deal. Yairo Moreno.
And it only took him 2 minutes. It only took him 2 minutes to get that goal. And he went in the 80th. And by the 82nd minute, he was already celebrating his only goal of any final he's played. So, I mean, and look, man, this guy he's a really good player, and he's a very valuable asset. I don't know how much longer we're going to keep him, because there's a lot of people speaking about him, especially around Liga MX. There's a lot of fans that say, I want this guy for my club, especially Mr. Luis from Tigres English. Like, I saw him tweet out a couple things, like like Nacho Ambriz should bring Yairo Moreno to Tigres with him. A lot of people from America, and obviously the rumors from Europe. Really, really good player. Glad to see him back. And what a goal. I just kept replaying it last night over and over. What a goal.
What a goal. Louis, Jose, any thoughts on Yairo Moreno this season?
I mean, did he ever laugh? Was he ever injured? I mean, he just came in and boom,
Yeah.
So I don't know. He was out for most, like you said, like Jornada 13 or 14, and then he just came in for less than for
8 minutes.
15, 10 minutes.
10 minutes, probably.
And then he literally just came in to score.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He
it kind
sealed
of
the deal.
like I think what Louis said, like Elvira nunca existe, which is true. But just to think if we would have recovered Yaido early on in Liga, if that would have changed some aspects in regard to how some games went. I mean, obviously we can't put ourselves in that situation.
Yeah.
I think again we adapted well without Yaido. Obviously, with Steven Barreiro out, we had Nacho, and then Osby out, and then so. But I think you're right, Carlos. I don't know how much longer we're going to keep Kaido. I think he has open eyes of many, many people, many clubs. So I think it's just a matter of time. But I mean, the coronarse campeón, and I think we said that in the podcast. As long as he's campeón with León, after that, we can proudly say that he was campeón with this club.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like if you ask me, would I rather keep him? Yes, but is it gonna be hard to keep him now? Oh yeah, because yeah, I mean, even before we were campeones, he was worth around like 6 million, or maybe a little bit more than that. But imagine now, like that's just gonna and that's just the price on the market. Because one thing is the price on the market, and one thing is what the club were asked for him. So we can double if you want, or we, you know. So I don't know. I would rather like you mentioned, like Ticket has been interested in him, or
It's not nothing official. It's just the fans talking.
yeah, no, yeah,
saying, I want him for my
it's
team.
just the fans talking. But
Of course, we're the equipo campeón. Of course, they're going to want our players.
They're going to want everybody. Give us your whole team.
But the club is doing something right and signing these guys to extension. These guys are agreeing to these extensions. I mean, they've built a club culture that these guys buy into. It's not just it's not just a business. It feels like, yes, of course, it's a business, and they're going to make the best business decisions always before anything. But it feels like there's more than that with this team. Like, Jairo Moreno's, I don't feel like he's the kind of guy who's just going to sign with Tigres because Tigres wants him. No, I mean, we've got a club culture here that these guys like, and I feel like that's how smaller market teams, which we are, like I feel like that's how smaller market teams become champions, is by building a culture that guys buy into, even though they're not playing necessarily for the sexiest club.
That's another word for me, Louis. He's trying to be cute, and that Joel Campo now sexy clubs.
Yeah, like these guys.
What are the sexy clubs?
Okay. America wants this guy. Oh, he's going to go to America. Tigres wants this guy. Oh, he's definitely going to sign. So the LA Lakers want this guy. Oh, he's definitely going to go sign for the Lakers. That's how it always used to be. But I mean, these small market clubs, they build up this culture that the guys buy into. I feel like all of our core has done that, and you hear rumors, people throwing rumors about guys being moved, but mostly what you hear about is our core guys being signed to extensions, even our seleccionados, like the guys who could be thinking about Europe even. But that's my thing with Jairo. I think he'll go to Europe before he goes to another Liga MX club.
Yeah, he's actually one of those players that has 6 months on his contract, and we have yet to hear any news or rumors about him sitting down for a controlled renewal. So
we probably will soon.
I'm guessing we will soon.
I'm hoping after this, like with the whole Benraquino, which Louis, are you gonna go decorate his barbershop now?
No, but I mean, what a difference one Liga makes. We were ready to cast that man out after that Toluca game. Yeah, but man, he had a great Liga, most importantly a clean Liga in terms of cards. Getting sanciones. Like he had a really, really. I said, he's got one Liga to prove his worth, and he did that and more.
Yeah, maybe doubled his worth too.
Yeah. Crazy. What do you guys say if we go to performance reviews? Let's go with Nacho Gonzalez. Last 90 minutes. Started in the final. He did not score, but he saved us in a wonderful play. That's a wonderful GIF. guys, last game, possibly, I mean, who knows, right, Louis? But last game,
Yeah.
Nacho Gonzalez.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Problem is, like, he showed he still has something in the tank, but it's also like the perfect storybook ending to a career.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't ruin
So,
it. Don't ruin it.
like, if he keeps playing, then he might have to leave through the puerta de atrás, and nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, this is the perfect time to.
Perfect
1
ending.
to a 10.
I'm gonna go with a 9 because I also saw some stats that somebody posted. One of the there's a stat page on Twitter that posted that he was the best passer in the game. He was the best recovery man in the game, and he was first in a bunch of stats.
Mhm.
And obviously that big save. I mean, if you don't make that save, the game is level and it's a totally different game. If you don't make that save and you're called for a penalty, that just hurts you emotionally. It hurts the team. It's like, okay, so this is your last 90 minutes and you're going to go out with a penalty. But man, I don't know, that the soccer god's words worked in mysterious ways because he just got his toe on it.
Mm-hmm.
And right after he got his toe on it, he got he got the player. So, I mean, wow, what a play! I don't know. I'm gonna go with 9 because what a play! Just what a play! That one play. That one play pushes him up to a 9. Yeah.
Nacho Gonzalez, a 9 by Carlos. Jose or Louis, what do y'all think?
9.5, man. How can you give him anything? How can you give him anything less than 9.5? I mean, the guy went and started in a final in the last game of his career and did perfectly. He did everything you could have asked of him. Like, he didn't score a goal, but you don't go in expecting your center backs to score a goal. The fact in 2 finals was, I don't know, the probability of that happening. Tom can give us his expanded stats on that kind of thing. I don't know what the expected goals for Nacho Gonzalez in that game were probably like in the negative numbers.
Yeah. Probably.
But he went in and man, did he do his job and show that he still can on the biggest stage in the most important moment. I don't know. I have nothing to criticize about the man. But giving him a perfect 10 is too cheesy. He wouldn't like that even, there's always room for improvement. So I'll give him a 9.5.
Yeah. 9.5. Jose.
I mean, I usually try to be like conservative, but not this time. I think last game of his career, last 90 minutes of his career, and last time he actually played 90 minutes in a game was 3 years ago.
That's
and
great.
then you come out and get that performance for the club that's going in your heart, like, so it's this is the stuff that you see in fairy tales, like, it's just incredible. So I mean, honestly, I even love to give him a 10 just for the fact that he had this much of a performance after, like I mentioned before, like, how crazy is that? Like 90 minutes in 3 years, and then you do this, and then that tackle that Carlo was talking about. Oh, like, come on, like that one right there counts as a goal right there. Like if God knows what would have happened if he didn't, like, because Nacho, like, I remember before he's had tackles like that, but he's been unfortunate before and he has committed like a penalty, but this time the soccer gods were on his side.
Yeah,
he got it just right, and he saved us. Like, oh man, like, yes, that was.
You're giving the soccer gods too much credit, Jose. That was.
I don't know. This time, I think this time he totally deserves it. I don't know.
So what is it? What's your 10? Wait, what's your rating?
I was gonna go with 9, but let's just go with 10.
And
10 for
oh,
10 for
All right.
11
The only 10, the
year
only
career.
10 that the only 10 that Jose will ever give. This is a historic moment.
I mean,
yeah.
who are you not gonna give a 10 to El Corazón de León, to the legend?
Well,
I mean,
the only ones who we've given 10 twos were Chapo and
that's
Nacho.
another legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we, I'm jumping forward, but if we are able to get El Bicampeonato, that just leaves Montes standing alone from back in the first Bicampeonato. I mean, that's insane to think, but it would be amazing story.
I mean, I see, like, I know they're different players and they're different times, but if Chapo wins another, si nos trae la novena, and even just with the novena, and if he wins the Champions League, the champions, this is kind of big words for some fans. Like, who's bigger, Tita or Chapo?
Mm. That'll open up a big debate.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that debate already exists. I think
yeah,
there's
it is.
already a debate to be. There's already a debate to be made there. I mean, I never
Even
saw
now.
Tita play. I never saw Tita play. So Tita, I'm not gonna say he means nothing to me, but like,
I think it depends on your era.
and so
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean. It's complicated for the people that didn't watch him play, but even just, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, like, even just watching the videos, you could tell just how great that guy was. It's But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I do think it depends on era, like Carlos says. So, I mean, we think we've all seen Chapito just throughout that bicampeonato, and now to this point, I think it's, like you said, if Si Conquista la Novena and CCL, I mean, that just is huge for Chapo Montes, especially just the lonely standing one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matosas, tweeted the lion and the little eights, and I'm like, yes, he knows the vibes. Pedro Aquino, so Silva score rated him a 7.2, 85% accuracy out of 38 touches, 17 were accurate. Out of dribble attempts, 2 out of 4 successfully. Ground duels, he won 6 out of 8. Aerial duels, 1 out of 3. What do you guys give him? I know we kind of celebrated kind of a series that Berachino had 1 to a 10.
I mean, he was very important in both games. So, man, should I? Nah.
You gave him a 10 too?
No.
No.
No, Jose's like he didn't score, so no. You gotta.
No, I mean, like, 10s are only reserved for legends. Not to a legend. So no. Let's see.
Anybody? I'm gonna give him a 9.
I'm gonna go 9.5.
9.5.
9.5. It's too high? No, it's not too. I don't think it's too high because anytime you see, anytime we lose the ball, anytime Pumas has the ball and they're attacking, the first thing I think is who's stopping the ball, and he's always there. Anytime there's a ball, a 50-50 ball, I say, I say, okay, who's going to get this ball? Who's sacrificing themselves, their body, to go get this ball? And it's always Pedro Aquino. So 9.5.
I'll give him a 9. I still want to see a little bit more decision making when he gets in around goal. It doesn't happen very often, but when he does, I'm not always thrilled with his decision making. There were a couple times where he should have made a pass that he didn't, especially in this last game. So I'll give him but yes, his dirty work in between the boxes is stellar. So I'll give him a 9.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. I'll compromise, and I'm just gonna agree with Dewey because I don't know. I would give it a 9.5, but I believe it's probably 9.5 over both games. So, because yeah. I mean, he was great. Like, I never felt in danger in any of the first leg or second leg when he was in the midfield. Like he was just dominant.
Yeah.
And those tackles, like, hey, the best thing of it, like, did he even get booked?
He did yesterday.
Yesterday he
I think
did?
I think he picked up a yellow yesterday. Yeah.
Hmm.
Did he? I think he did. I can't remember.
I'll look at
Because,
that.
I don't know, but she's usually the one that gets booked, but I don't know.
No, he wasn't booked last night.
That's what I mean. Like,
Mosquera was booked.
he was clean. Like it, and he had like those hard tackles, but he didn't get booked at all. And usually Akeem is always the one that gets at least a yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think there was some questionable cards yesterday, but I'm glad he didn't get a yellow. I think that's another thing to celebrate for Brother Aquino. Now let's talk about Fernando Navarro, which I would have loved for him to score in this final. According to SofaScore, he was the highest highest player that was rated 7.6. Played 87 minutes, which he wasn't too content on leaving the field. Out of 10 ground duels, he won 7. Out of 1 aerial duel, he did win that one. Out of 38 touches, 14. Yeah, 38 touches, 14 accurate passage, equating to 70%. 1 successful cross out of 1, and 1 successful long ball out of 2. He created 2 big chances. 7.6. I mean, I would have loved if he would have scored. Definitely has been this season, just a major aspect in the counterattack. I mean, he's just what position can we put him in? I mean, he's everywhere. He's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about positionless basketball. You don't talk about positionless soccer that much. But I mean, I think he's kind of, if there is somebody like he's a dude ahead of his time, because I'm sure probably in 20 years everybody will be that mobile, But he's kind of he's ahead of his time in positionless soccer. It's just funny. You always mention those scores, and they're like the players who have the highest ones never were the ones who caught my attention the most. Like Navarro wasn't really on my radar that much in this game, except on that one set piece where Chapo tried to fool him and filter it through in the second half. You remember exactly what minute it was. But but on the season and in the Liga, of course, Navarro has been invaluable, and he will continue to be. Yeah, he's just the defenses don't know what to do with him because they never know where he's going to be.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we kind of like in regards to JJ Macias and his departure. Kind of like that's what Navarro has been giving us, kind of just sneaking behind the defense. And like you said, Louis, players don't even know where Navarro's coming on. They left him wide open a couple of times because he just moves in an amazing way that it's hard for defenders to just stay on him. It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 9 because he did give that important through pass and assist to Gigliotti for the first goal.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible pass. I mean, it was right on the money. Gigliotti didn't even have to touch it. All he did was hit it past Talavera, and it was in. But it was a pass it was passed behind the midfield line, and it got all the way to the 18. And then that was the goal. I mean, that was the goal that made us. I screamed.
Yeah.
I mean, how couldn't you?
It was and I mean, I'm gonna go with a 9 for Navarro, deserved.
A 9, a lot of high scoring, nothing less than a 9. Louis.
Yeah, I have no reason to give him anything less than that. I'll give him a 9 as well.
9 as well, Jose.
I mean, it's the final, and he showed up. So yeah,
9. Awesome. I guess just overall team performance, and I kind of want to get an idea. Obviously, we've been so repetitive, but overall team performance this season equivalating to the campeonato, 1 to a 10. Like, is the 10 like campeonato? Like, that was the main thing, or are you guys going to be more like, 9.5 because we could work better on this versus this, or we struggled with this, or
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, this was our goal for this season. But so here was my thing. Just finishing that game. First there was the joy. Then there was the relief. Then there was the. I mean, it set in pretty quickly, and it's still kind of setting in. Again, these are emotions that take a few days, a little while to fully settle, and it's a big mix. Mostly it's joy and relief, but there's also a little bit of anxiousness about what comes next. That's how sports works. You win a title, but then there's another season, and the off season in Liga MX is about as short as there is in anywhere. So we're going to be playing regular season games again in a few weeks.
Yeah. They report the 28th, so that's like 2 weeks.
No. The season starts the
calendar
7th,
is going to be out soon, I think, too.
So when are they reporting? I think I saw something on Twitter. They were reporting the 28th.
The 28th.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. I don't know, but the season starts January 7th. That's 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Short break.
We're a little. I mean, it's crazy and almost cruel to the dudes for giving us this great accomplishment to be thinking along those lines. But that's how this works, So like, and then of course it didn't even take 24 hours, and there are already guys meeting and talking about their future with the organization, and like who's in, who's out, who's gonna view this as okay. I did my job here. The ciclo's over. I'm gonna go we got the job done, and who's gonna be like, no, this just made me hungrier for more. I think that remains to be seen, but I was certainly thinking about that way sooner after the final whistle blew than I thought I would be. I was like, okay, we got the Octava, but we're going to keep most of this team together. I think, there's no reason we can't go for more. We got not one, but 2 Conca Champions coming up. Like we're going to be right back into it. Worrying about wins and losses and championship caliber pretty soon.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's impossible not to think about that.
Yeah.
So I think, in that sense, in terms of like team review, I think it's fair not to consider 10 as simply winning the title, because we have that. This should just hopefully be ideally the start of a dynasty.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I agree. With everything Louis said, and I think that a lot of these guys have a chip on their shoulder. I think a lot of them remember that CCL, and they want that second shot at it. And there was an interview with Paco Montes and Nacho Ambriz, where Nacho Ambriz said that right after the game, he was still on the field, and he said a couple of these guys just mentioned the CCL, and they said they want to go for that second shot again. It's in their minds. They want
Redemption.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, also
there's
there's a couple of guys who weren't really in the mix yet, or not really like considered yet. I'm thinking like I'd love to see Nick Killer in the CCL. A guy who hasn't really made his mark. He had the perfect play to like sum up his season.
Yes.
Yeah. Where he had a clear shot on goal for the third to really rub it in, and he shot it right into Talavera. That's just like a perfect. That's like the perfect summing up of his tenure with Leon.
Yeah. So close yet so
far. But
I
think that guy still. I know I'm being very forgiving of him, way more than most people have, but I think that guy still has more to give, and I think the CCL, especially if he's not going to be really considered as a starter anymore in Liga games, like I think the CCL could be a spot for him to like really strut his stuff.
Yeah, I think that was maybe the easiest look that he had all season. There's nothing that was going to come easier than that. It was a 1v1 against Talavera, and credit to Talavera, he's a really good goalkeeper. But you got to put that away, man. You got to put that with a cherry on top. And I I mean, to be fair to him, he is the bicampeón of the Liga MX and Liga MX. He's the only one who has that bragging right on the team.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been nice to see him score at least one this season.
Yeah, especially like ending it cherry on top on his cherry on top on his Sunday.
Yeah.
So no, I think I agree with what you said, Louis, and you know, I really, you know, I think we all in a sense have a similar thought process, but I think, you know, it's definitely good hearing how you guys vision things and how you guys put things in perspective. And I agree with you. I think having this core base of players, you know, moving along, like you said, this is just barely scratching the surface of what this team is capable of. And I get the relief part because it's been a process to get to this point. So I think it's a huge relief that all the work and all the time put into this team, especially by Nacho Ambriz, I think he can literally, I think he said, like, les puedo dar la cara, finally saying, here, like Carlos said, here's the hardware, here's the result of kind of what we've been accumulating the past couple of seasons. So I think this is just the start of something great. So it's just I just smile. I'm just so happy. Like I just feel something in my heart. Even when I hear Caminos de Guanajuato, even when I hear the chants, it's just like a feeling. And I'm so saddened that Louis cannot live that. You know, you living like game by game, and then this one, like, you know, it's hard for a lot of us who, you know,
I did the best I could.
Go on.
I did the best I could to mimic that situation. You know, Javier and I were in a wings place on La Madero so that we could run out and go to the Arco and be in it. You know, not the smartest thing to do in these COVID times. Whatever, you can criticize that all you want. But
no, you're wearing your mask.
I was wearing my mask. I always will wear my official Pure Leon mask that they took their sweet time releasing, but they finally did. Yeah, I wanted to be in that. I wanted to feel that. Also, like, I was so looking forward to that in the last final that we did, like running out of the stadium and just, you know, going nuts in the streets, and we were deprived of that. So I wanted to. There was no way I was not gonna do something like that this time. But still, like, those men in that stadium deserved a stadium full of people cheering them on for everything they've done this whole time. That would have made the experience even that much sweeter. Again, a championship is a championship. That's the goal. That's what we wanted at the end of the day. Doesn't matter how it happened and who was watching it in person. That's the ultimate goal, and the ultimate goal was achieved. But yeah, that one little thing is also how many years had it been since Leon had won a final at home. Like, they won their two bicampeonatos on the road. And their previous final before that, they lost at home.
I was one.
So, you know, this was our chance to win at home. It's a real shame the fans couldn't be there for that. But this is the way things are. I'm grateful. Frankly, I'm not just grateful that we won the title, but that they even had a tournament to play in to have a chance to win the title. And so I think, you know, that's something to consider as well. I'm grateful for that. And it's just, you know, we did it. We did it, guys. We did it. It feels almost as good as when we won the Liga, you know?
Yeah, I'm glad there's nobody saying that this championship has an asterisk on it, like they do with like the NBA and other leagues.
Well, no, I mean, they played a full season in Liga. Yeah. I mean, they even played a repechaje in between. You know, like this was a real season. There were no fans. I mean, there were a few games that had a few fans, but there were really no fans. But other than that, it was a regular season. So I mean, I think that's why there's no reason to devalue this championship in any way. It means the same as any other that has ever been won.
I'd say it was probably harder because there's no fans, and fans have a lot to do with players and adrenaline and atmosphere. They have a lot. They have the fans actually. They drive the team. Yeah,
that could go both ways though. Harder than because fans also put pressure on the away fans.
I mean, maybe I get like in the first, but especially like coming back home, I think, you know, that drive of the fans kind of like you know, I mean, I do agree it could go both ways. I just think this was meant to be this ending.
Just imagine the stadium yesterday after that first goal, after Gigliotti's goal. Just imagine how ecstatic it would be.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think the players did a pretty good job of playing on their home pitches, of channeling that energy, like that home field advantage. I think they did that all season, but especially in the Liga. Remember, guys, Leon did not allow a single goal in any of their home matches in this Liga.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty impressive.
Very.
Yeah.
Very. Well, guys, it's just time to celebrate. But Javier,
time to celebrate, but remember, the next season is coming very, very soon, and we want more.
We want more. We're going to take this momentum into the next year.
We could get La Novena and pass Cruz Azul for number of titles.
Yes.
Titles.
Yes.
You know?
That's the next
one. 2 trophies next year.
We already passed Pumas, which is, I think that's pretty significant, that we had the same number of títulos, league titles, as a team considered one of the Cuatro Grandes, which I don't know where that criteria has always been iffy to me for them. I'm sorry.
I mean, Louis, are we changing Grandes to sexy teams now?
No, whatever you want to call them, Grande, sexy, or none of the above. They had 7 titles. We had 7 titles. We got one ahead of at the very least, a very popular team in Mexico. I think that's important. Now we tied with Cruz Azul. I mean, and we got one ahead of Tigres too. So if there was any doubt about who, when Tigres, that was what was so painful about that final against Tigres, is that they tied us on number of titles at 7, and now we got one ahead. So sorry, Tigres guy who was on the chat before, but we're back ahead. Sorry.
You can take it. Luis can take it. Raul Guerrero said nobody looks happy. We are happy. My cheeks are from smiling. Like, we can't smile like this the whole time without talking. I need to talk.
I know.
We are happy. We are happy, my man. We are happy, but it's not just a simple like joy or pain type of emotion, you know.
You gotta give us your dance, like live, like the happy.
Go.
My victory dance from last night is in its most organic form. It's on Twitter in front of the Arco de la Calzada. Anybody can find it. Yeah. Yeah.
I think for next podcast season, we got to get I'm gonna get a clip of you, and me and Carlos will make a clip for like whenever Leon wins, have the celebration clip of you dancing.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
He said, haha, hey Louis, congrats on going to the estadios dance. Que baile, ha ha ha. ¿Ya ves? They're chanting it.
I'm here to entertain you, Raul.
Yeah. You didn't see it. Raul, go to his you have it on Twitter and Instagram?
Yeah. Yes, also on Instagram.
Yeah, follow him, Raul. He'll has all the dances there, so you can pick and choose your favorite.
But I feel like it's a lot simpler when you lose. Like when you lose, like you know exactly how you're supposed to be feeling, and the disappointment and the hunger for revancha, you know. But when you win, it's like, this is what we've been waiting for.
I was on cloud 9.
Yeah, why doesn't it feel more like on cloud 9? It did to some degree, but it's also like, I don't know, this was supposed to happen. Anything less than this happening would have been a disappointment. Like this is the minimum. This is the status quo for the way this team has played. This is the status quo. Anything less than this, like, would have been not just a disappointment, unacceptable. So I feel like that's why it was more relief than pure joy, I would say.
Like I agree with you. Like for me, like even though I'm happy about the title, for me the one that really like hit me hard, and it's not even a Liga MX title, it was the one from el ascenso. Ese sí me pegó, pero.
I mean, we suffered so much. I mean, I think that's a total different level of degree, you know what I mean? Of like pure excitement, enjoyment, like just that's another type of relief. Like so many, like attempted finals, and hasta que se nos hizo pasar, and just I think that the way that carried on, with Matosas and a lot of the base players, like it was just amazing. I had Jonathan 09 join us again. He said this team needs to win CCL to fulfill that feeling y'all speak of. Dale Leon, we're going for it.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
We need to. That's the what's it called? Like an assignment that we have yet to fulfill, and we need to. Yeah.
Pending
redemption.
pending.
The only thing that hit me was the goal that should
Sosa.
That's Sosa. Okay, I was like, that's
Soda.
Yeah, me killer. Then the
Killer.
goal.
Yes.
That would have made it feel a little different. Not gonna lie.
That,
like if you gotten
that or Chapito's almost sliding in. Like he was like this close.
Oh my god.
I was
like, can you imagine the celebration between Gigliotti and Sosa if he would have scored that goal? I mean, can you guys remember that goal in Seoul where Nico Sosa was screaming his lungs out?
They seem like BFFs, and they seem like BFFs, and like they really like build off each other's excitement.
I mean, guys,
sure,
he screamed his lungs out with his BFF, Gigliotti. Yeah. So imagine if Gigliotti and Sosa would have scored in the same game.
Oh my god!
Damn, that would have been
awesome. But well, guys, anything else before we take off on our last podcast for this year?
Oh man,
we did it. No more suffering like the last couple of before Nacho Ambriz, where we were happy just getting into Liguilla. We were happy being in place. Where the last couple of games of the season, we were watching the tabla closely, hoping that we would get close to the number 8 or 7 seed just to get in. And let's hope that never happens again. Let's hope that we remain top 3 at least for the next decade.
Oh my god!
That's a lot of pressure.
Hey man, you gotta set goals. You gotta set the bar high.
But I mean, that's where this weird range of emotions is coming from. It's like when you're sneaking in and you're an underdog. Like it feels different when you get that far, and like I don't know. But when you're expected, like we were expected to win this thing.
Yes.
Just the whole dynamic of the entire Liga is different, as is like the way you feel when it's finally over. Yeah, sure, so happy, but also like thank the heavens, thank the Lord. Even I'm not even a religious man, but thank the Lord.
Thank whoever's out there in the world.
Thank whoever's out there, the soccer gods, for not screwing this up for us.
I know. Like, 4 seasons we have to wait for this moment, and it's finally here. Now, we have to look at the horizon and buscar la novena y la primera.
Yeah, Jornada 1 against Chivas is in 3 weeks.
Is it against Chivas?
Wait.
Well, I mean, if they're going to use the same table or the same schedule in reverse.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's I don't know. I suppose maybe because of it's COVID and everything, they might like make some changes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if they're going to use a mirror image of the same schedule, our first game would be against Chivas.
Speaking of Chivas, I'm so glad that Godinez got a title.
You're
on Twitter.
Go for it.
JJ, Godinez, JJ. Like,
yeah,
love to see it.
Somebody said uno besa escudos y otro besa copas.
Yes.
Oh, that's such a good.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal.
That's such a good one.
I really agree.
Oh man.
That's an awesome comment. I mean, that's. I mean, he actually played a couple minutes. So at least I can.
It should be like, this is how we started, and this is how we're going. Like for going.
Go post it on Twitter. I'll retweet it. That's an excellent Excellent.
I gotta make a meme out of that somehow.
You should.
Do it.
I know you're always making them. You gotta do something like that. I'll look forward to something like that. Well, guys, I think we're gonna take off. And our last podcast of the year, which was episode 59, La Octava, because we're finally here. It's been a lot of work. I just feel like we have all been so happy to share our thoughts every single week, and support from everybody watching via YouTube and Periscope. You guys know how much we love this club and how much we talk about them, how much we celebrate, as much as we get some constructive criticism. Sometimes we're in a bad mood, but not in the bad way, just because we believe in this club so much, and it just brings joy every single time they play. Any last words, guys?
Man, there's a lot of merchandise we have to replace.
Yeah.
So there's an extra star
And
on there
then-
now.
Yes.
Well, I already changed my watch face on the Apple Watch. It was a Leon shield with just two stars on top, and now
that's three.
because the official team social media posted a picture with the 3 stars, so I assume that's how it's going to look. The way
Yes,
that they
I did
posted
see
it.
that. So it's like at the bottom and then 2 at the top, right?
Yeah.
It
No,
would not-
it's
That's
3
three
in a
at
straight
top.
line on top.
Yes, 3 and
Oh,
4.
5 on
okay.
the bottom like normal, and then 3 in a straight line on top.
Sorry, yes, that's what I saw.
And I'm lucky. All my new era hats, they don't have the stars; they just have the shield. So those are eternal.
This was so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
But everything else, I'm gonna have to buy. I guess I'm gonna have to buy two new Pirma jerseys, one of each kind of because I mean, unless I can find someone who can somehow like fix the stars for me.
Someone
Nah,
so
that's a different
star.
season.
No,
I mean,
I got to get 2 new ones, and then because I'm sure there's going to be a special champions patch. There's usually a special patch for the champions the following season that they wear the following season, and I'm sure my jersey customizer will be able to get his hands on that. So I'll get my jersey guy. He'll get his hands on that, and I'll get 2 new jerseys with the 3 star and the. But then what happens if we win the novena?
Gotta invest.
Hey, for sure, get the new era.
Yeah.
Campeón 2020.
I want that T-shirt that they were wearing yesterday with the whole back.
I would imagine they will sell it in the store. I'll go check next week. Yeah.
That sounds good. And Louis going to be our plug now. It's kind of how this works.
Louis, if you see anything there, then please.
Yeah. No, I mean if they're smart, they'll make a whole bunch of championship stuff.
Yeah. Sell out really, really quick. Any last words besides merchandise?
Well, what can I say?
We've said
Ole,
everything.
ole, ole, ole. Leon.
I think we said it all.
Look at Jose smile. He's like, can't take it off.
Campbell's. This is Campbell's celebratory thing.
We should have put like a side to side, like I know Yaito was doing his whole prayer around the field right after, and it was just like just amazing. I can only imagine how he's feeling, especially coming in and scoring that. Well, guys, I think we're gonna take off. I want to thank every single person that joined us this whole podcast season. Another season down, and if you guys have been watching via Periscope, via YouTube, joining us, giving your comments, your thoughts, your support, thank you so much. You guys know, again, we do this from the bottom of our hearts. We just love talking about Club Leon. So next season is just a couple weeks away. So we'll be closing this year with this podcast, Better Way Than La Octava. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back on another episode of the Lions Den Podcast 2021, and we're all hoping the best year. I know this year has been tough, but as long as we all stay safe, We'll get through it. More football to go. More victory Mondays. More hot takes. More Louis predictions. More story times. More stats. Everything in regards to Club Leon in English, we will have here for you guys. So thank you so much. Thank you for celebrating this win with us. It's all the messages on Twitter tagging all of us. Thank you so much. We
Thank
greatly
you.
appreciate the congrats. We were very stoked last night. We would have loved to do a post quick reaction after, but we all just had a lot going on. Tears, smiles, Louis and Javier just being there live in color. I mean, it was a lot going on, but our hearts are so happy. So once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast season of the Lions Den Podcast. Tune in on next podcast. We'll have lots of other great surprises and additions as we're always trying to grow our podcast. Follow us on all social medias to keep you guys updated in regards to everything Club Leon. Follow Club Leon EN for everything in regards to our players in the next upcoming season. And I think we have one more comment. Happy holidays. Yes, happy holidays from the Lion Den podcast family to you all. Thank you once again, and we're going to take off.
I already got my present.
I think I said it. My birthday present. This is my birthday present. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we're going to take off. And thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Lions Den Podcast.